Good morning, Greg here. Burn at both ends. Burn it on the front end of Monday. It is the 30th of July, 2018, 6:52 a.m. Pacific. This morning we leave for South Carolina, so we're super psyched. A little scare last night. We had a canceled flight, and then they put us on. We were supposed to leave at like 8:30 this morning, and they put us on like a 10 p.m. tonight flight. And so I'm glad I was able to call and get an earlier flight. So we leave at 11, not so bad. Get in about 10 p.m. local. Near Myrtle Beach, so should be doable, should be all right. Tough to complain. It's an incredible amount of traveling in one day. But what I want to get into this morning, right, is I've talked a lot about how awesome my parents are, and I want to do a top 10 awesome things about my mom this morning. And just because she just played a huge role in shaping my life, and I just want to have a lot of gratitude toward her, and she's a big reason why we're coming out to South Carolina, and you'll hear about that in one of the top 10 items here. So, and don't forget, this is in the order I think of them, so there's no particular order here. Number one, she rocked corporate America in the 80s and 90s. So my mom was in life insurance, and so she was kind of in the thick of being a woman during that time, which was very tough from what I understand. I mean, I didn't experience it firsthand, but this was a tough time to be a woman in the office. I remember at one point she saved me from what would have been a catastrophic bumblebee accident. I had this little like four-wheeler bumblebee toy as like a toddler. And we had these, this huge flight of stairs cement stairs outside of our house that went down to the garage. And there was, leading to the top of those stairs was like a long sidewalk, and I was racing down that sidewalk, and I did not realize that if I went off those stairs on the bumblebee, I would have probably killed myself or severely hurt myself. We're talking about probably falling down probably 25 cement stairs just straight down. Anyway, so flying down the sidewalk, and my mom grabbed me at the last minute. Bumblebee went over the edge. I'm not sure if the bumblebee survived, but she grabbed me, and I certainly did not perish down the stairs, so that was pretty awesome. She had a really serious back injury. I don't remember too many details about this. I remember I think it was a disc, but I remember as a kid, like in maybe, I want to say elementary school and middle school, she had a serious back injury, and she recovered from it pretty tremendously. I remember lots of exercises and lots of visits to a chiropractor, and I've had some slight back injuries, in my life, and I know how challenging they can be. So I can't imagine what it's like to have a full-on back injury, try to work full time, support the kids and the family. That must be really tough. Number 4, at age 15, she taught me how to drive a car. So we went out like a year early. I remember in the library parking lot with the Acura Integra, 1986 Acura Integra, and she taught me how to drive. Number 5, and this is important, she tolerated and funded drum lessons. I can't imagine what it was like to hear a young drummer learning. It must be painful, because I hear drummers sometimes at music stores, and it's loud, and when it's not in tempo, it's painful. But she tolerated and funded drum lessons for years, and so I really appreciate that. Number 6, she was always there for me emotionally. Being in a house of men, mostly men, it was important to have her as just a different type of a sounding board. I remember it just being very important. I could pretty much talk to her about anything. Number 7. With all of her corporate America experience, she has provided some great work-related advice over the years. I've had some ups and downs, and so I remember many times talking to her about office politics and how to deal and things like that. So really always provided some great advice on the office and work-related items. Number 8, she let me be me. I think that's a really important thing for any parent. Is I was able to explore things that I enjoyed doing, whether it was early on it was art, and then of course it was all the sports. But she was always very supportive, and I just remember kind of me being the one that made the calls on where to go and what to do. I don't really remember being like like told so much what to do as far as like extracurricular and interest and things like that. And I just think that's important. Number 9, so something that she's been doing recently is she's been flying out my family and I to visit her and my dad in South Carolina, like we're going today. And this is really helpful because it's just, it's an expensive trip, or it can be, and money's tight here in Albany, and so it's really great that she's able to do that. We really appreciate it. It's really nice to have the grandkids go out. They're really excited to go, and we're excited to just take a break from Albany, lounge around the house while grandma and grandpa play with the kids. So pretty awesome. And then number 10, she did an incredible job raising us boys. I have an older brother, so 2 boys, and she worked full time. And so this is like all the things that I was too young to remember, that I know I experienced, but this was age 0, or I guess from conception you would argue through age 10. So that decade there of kind of stuff that I remember a little bit of things here and there, but all those things that she did to take care of me, that just she will never ever get a full thank you for, because there are just too many of them and no one's going to remember all of them, and she won't even remember all of them. But it's it's the things I'm experiencing right now with my kids, the things that my wife and I are doing for them. This is where this is where I get that inspiration to just be the best parent I can, is from my parents, because they were exactly that for me and my brother. It was awesome, and it really shows now in my adult life. It really shows how lucky I was to have parents like that. And also the fact that we're going to visit my parents, and I have really good relationships with them, and building relationships with my kids and them. And I just think that's really shows how powerful good parenting can be, and how much of a positive impact it can have. So so those are the top 10. Mom's awesome, and I'm going to wrap here. We're going to be getting on a plane pretty soon. Got to get the kids up, got to get moving, got to get motivated, and that's about it. So this is part of my channel, part of my journey as an aspiring entrepreneur. A big piece of that is gratitude, and so this morning, a little gratitude toward my mom. And subscribe if you like what you hear. Comment down below, let me know what you're up to. If you need any help, I'd love to be of service. Please comment down below and ask for help, and I would do my best. There's a bunch of links in the description, check them out. One of the most important would be the beat in the background. G Money's my alter ego. I write these drum beats. Check them out on SoundCloud. There's a link down below, and I will leave you there. So go out, it's Monday, crush it. I'm on vacation this week, but you might just be getting to a whole new level wherever you are. So light it up, inspire folks, do great things, and I will see you tonight from South Carolina.